did, but go, yeah, go check. Yeah, go check.
Did the City Bible? I got that.
Good morning. put it over there. Okay. Good morning, everyone. My name is Nathan Tidridge, and I will be the Master of Ceremonies for this welcoming ceremony this morning. We begin by paying tribute to the enduring presence of First Nations in these lands. We also acknowledge that Inuit peoples are original peoples of this territory, currently known to many as Canada. And as relatives of First Nations and early European settlers, we also want to honor the Métis people of this continent. And I would also like to finally pay tribute, in particular, to the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation, whose territory we are on today. And let us also recognize Toronto as an important urban center with a significant Indigenous population. Place matters, and this land is alive with traditional knowledge and ways of knowing. Let us give thanks for being welcome here and for having this opportunity to join in kinship. At sunrise this morning, Elder Gary Sue of the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation lit this sacred fire for us to gather around. It will burn all day in honor of this gathering, attended to by Jeff Debuch and Taco Keita. Its lighting was witnessed by members of the Massey community, including students from Waterdown District High School. Members of the Vice-Regal family will enter this space through the eastern door together with National Chief Perry Bellegarde of the Assembly of First Nations and Mississaugas of the Credit Chief Stacy Laforme. Together, we will witness a historic gathering between First Nations leadership and the Crown. This welcoming ceremony is intended to honor the unique and sacred relationship between the Queen's representatives and First Nation peoples. This gathering or council reflects protocols that have endured since Europeans first landed on these shores many centuries ago. Indeed, they reflect the treaties that made Canada possible. Gary Sue will now begin our welcoming ceremony with a song. Please be seated. I would like to invite Ms. Elizabeth Smythe, Vice Chair of the Governing Council at Massey College, to bring remarks.
Your Excellency, the Right Honorable Julie Payette, Your Honors, the Lieutenant Governors of our Canadian provinces and Commissioners of the 3 territories, National Chief Perry Bellegarde, Chief Stacy, Elder Gary, Master Emeritus John Fraser, members of the Massey community, and guests. Bonjour et bienvenue à Massey College. Je m'appelle Elizabeth Smythe, and I have the honor of representing Principal Hugh Siegel, who is unable to attend. I welcome you to Massey College. We wish to acknowledge this land on which Massey College operates. For thousands of years, it has been the traditional land of the Huron-Wyandot, the Seneca, and most recently, the Mississaugas of the Credit Valley. Today, this meeting place is still home to many Indigenous people from across Turtle Island, and we are grateful to have the opportunity to work on this land. Massey College is a graduate students' residential community affiliated with but independent from the University of Toronto. It provides a unique, congenial, and intellectual atmosphere for an interdisciplinary group of graduate students and a community of learners drawn from the University of Toronto, the province of Ontario, and beyond. Among our distinguished community members is Honorary Senior Fellow Chief Stacy Lafrum, who actively participates in the Massey community, working from his office here at the college. It was the intention of the founders of Massey College that through the fullness of its corporate life and its efforts, its members will continue to flourish and serve the public good. And today's ceremonies honor that intention. Within our community space here at Massey, there are places for work, for celebration, for study, and for prayer. In 2014, Massey College petitioned Buckingham Palace to rededicate St. Catherine's Chapel as a chapel royal. Chapel royals are religious establishments which have been granted a rare honorific and distinction by the monarch in recognition of their unique role or place. It was the hope of the Massey College community that the designation of our chapel as a chapel royal would highlight the Royal Proclamation of 1763 and the Treaty of Niagara of 1764, and acknowledge the complex and often painful history between the Crown and Indigenous nations, as well as the need for reconciliation going forward. The petition was approved by Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II and announced in the sesquicentennial year of 2017. In Anishinaabe, the Chapel Royal at Massey College is called Gichikwa Gimi Kwa Mississauga Anishinaabe Anak Aname Amek, the Queen's Anishinaabe sacred place. Massey College's Chapel Royal is the third such chapel in Canada, with the others being in Brantford and Toronto, Ontario. It holds the distinction of being the first interfaith and interdenominational chapel royal, and the only one with its title in an Indigenous language. These institutions stand as symbols of kinship and the long-standing relationship between the Canadian Crown and Indigenous people. Welcome to Massey. We are honored to have you here.
I would now like to invite Chief Stacy Lafrum to bring his remarks.
I took my bonnet off so you could, behind me, could see what was going on. You're welcome. So, Ani, Baju, Nagani Anishinaabekanini, Stacey Form Disnakaz, Credit Dunjaba, Mainga Dodum, Mississauga Anishinaabe Dowell. I'd like to acknowledge the Creator, the world around us, and our place within it. I'd like to acknowledge the fire, the elder, the helpers, and I'd like to acknowledge the many special gifts we have in attendance today, including our youth. So before I chat a little bit about Massey College, which I've come to really appreciate, I wanted to ask if you would rise so I can remember the anniversary of D-Day, even though it's gone by this past week, and also to honor our fallen warriors who gave so much so that we could stand here today. To all those who've gone before, to all the people that went to war, to the men and women who faced death, to those who will never again draw breath, to the mothers and fathers whose children gave all, to the husbands and wives whose mate answered the call, to the child who faced life on their own, to everyone who talks to a name on a stone. No medal or ribbon can repay all that we owe. The parade and applause not enough, and we know. How do you thank someone for everything you have and everything you are? Without you, never could we accomplish so much or come so far. I want to say thank you, but no words are enough for what you went through. There is one promise that I can give, one oath I shall never break for as long as I live. I'll remember that we owe all to you, a person, a people I never even knew I will remember. Thank you. You may be seated. It's an honor to be here to welcome you, friends and allies. You know, Massey has become a special place for many of us as it reflects the past, the present, and gives us hope for the future. I greet you as a representative of a sovereign people. Circumstances may appear changed on the outside, but inside, we are still who we were. I wish you a productive gathering and a safe return to your homes and family when you are finished. I'm supposed to be off the stage in 2 minutes, so I gotta wrap this up now. So, I want to leave you with a poem I wrote called Uncommon Ground. No one thing can define us, for we are complex creatures dreamed in the mind of the Creator. We laugh when we should cry. We cry when we should laugh. We joke when in pain. We smile because tears could consume us. We love unconditionally and totally. We understand that family should come first, yet family is not defined solely by blood. We are quick to anger, yet no one forgives faster. We are loyal and we are strong. When we commit, we are unwavering. We have survived much, but do not mistake adaptation for resignation. You will always see us, for we will always be here, standing for what we believe in, standing beside each other, doing what is right for our children, our future. We remember our obligation to our Mother the Earth, and we remember our place upon her. We are a proud people, an honorable people. We do not always do right, for we are human and prone to the follies of humanity. Yet we strive to be better, to make each other better, to make the world a better place for the children. I know the Creator smiles upon us, no matter where we are or what we do, for the love of a child is unconditional. No matter where life takes you, walk proud. This would be where you applaud. Thanks. So, I leave you with that poem because even though I wrote it from the perspective of my people, I believe that when you hear it, everybody hears a little something of himself in it. And that teaches us that no matter how far apart we may seem, we're never so far apart that we can't find common ground. Shimagwich.
I would now like to invite Her Honor, the Honorable Elizabeth Dowdeswell, Lieutenant Governor of Ontario, to bring remarks.
Elder Sue, Chief Laforme, National Chief Bellegarde, Your Excellency, Your Honors, Commissioners, distinguished guests, friends, mes chers amis, good morning, bonjour, bonjour. In this moment of kinship, as we acknowledge the land, I pay tribute to the ancient and enduring presence of First Nations, Inuit, and Métis people across Canada. Elder Sue, thank you for your inspirational words. You and Chief Laforme make us all feel so very welcome on this territory, in this sacred space. Je suis heureuse d'être parmi vous pour ce moment important dans l'histoire de cette troisième chapelle royale au Canada. A year and a half ago, with great humility and certainly pride, I took part in the dedication of this royal chapel, this chapel royal at Massey College. Gichitwa, Kimakwe, Mississauga, Anishinaabeg, Anam, Gamik, the Queen's Anishinaabeg sacred place. Today we come together in similarly happy circumstances, joined by my vice-regal colleagues from across the land. It was our predecessors who sat at the great council fires and other gatherings in what were the very first conversations between settlers and First Peoples. Here we have an opportunity to return to the principles that guided such interactions: talking, listening, sharing, and dreaming together. The ritual of the welcoming ceremony helps ground us in reverence for the past, while uniting us in optimism for a more respectful and equitable future. This gathering, I hope, will be a memorable step along the path of reconciliation and healing. As we seek to come to terms with all of the ways in which, over time, the Crown has strayed from its duty to be honorable, we are able to rely on the support of unique institutions like the Chapel Royal. It is a deliberately interfaith place where people with different backgrounds and perspectives can take part in worship, but also in conversation. We all benefit from opportunities to rejoice in our shared humanity and our mutual vulnerability. The report of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission and its 94 calls to action, and more recently the final report of the National Inquiry into Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women and Girls and its 231 calls for justice, makes clear that a lot of hurt remains. There is so much that we all must do, but particularly those of us with a platform, if we are to continue to be resilient in the years ahead. Nous devons faire mieux. In these times of heightened cynicism in societies and nations around the world, big issues require as many people as possible to engage, not merely participate. And in this special place, with institutions of higher learning, representatives of the Crown have an opportunity to convene others. We can foster dialogue, not just debate, deliberation, not just consultation. Such civic engagement is fundamental to democracy, which, like reconciliation, is really all about how we choose to live together. I and my colleagues look forward to hearing National Chief Perry Bellegarde of the Assembly of First Nations speak about these issues in a few moments. May we renew our commitment and renew our sense of optimism about the path we walk together. Chief Bellegarde, we are honored by your participation. We are grateful to everyone here for sharing with us this historic moment. Je tiens à vous remercier de votre présence ce matin. We are listening with open hearts and open minds. Thank you. Merci, Miigwech.
Offering tobacco recalls the ancient and enduring silver covenant chain of friendship between the Queen and First Nations peoples, established by the Royal Proclamation of 1763 and the Treaty of Niagara of 1764. The act of gift-giving by the sovereign or her representatives is a key protocol in the family relationship established by treaties across this land. I will now invite Her Majesty's Canadian representatives and territorial commissioners to offer Elder Gary Sue, assisted by Mason Grenier of the Ojibwa Nation, gifts of Chapel Royal tobacco. Tobacco is one of the 4 sacred medicines and is a direct link to the Creator. Since time immemorial, tobacco has been intrinsic to the lives of First Nations and Métis peoples of Turtle Island, North America. As the tobacco is offered, Her Majesty's representative will thank Elder Gary for welcoming them to his territory and the Queen's sacred place, and ask him to burn it with his prayers for unity and prosperity for the land. I now invite Her Excellency, the Right Honourable Julie Payette, Governor-General of Canada, to offer her gift. I invite Her Honour, the Honourable Elizabeth Dowswell, Lieutenant Governor of Ontario, to offer her gift. The Honourable Michael Doyon, Lieutenant Governor of Quebec. I invite the Honourable Arthur LeBlanc, Lieutenant Governor of Nova Scotia, to offer his gift. I invite Mr. Tim Richardson, who will offer a gift on behalf of the Honourable Jocelyn Vineau, Lieutenant Governor of New Brunswick. I now invite the Honourable Janice Philman, Lieutenant Governor of Manitoba, to offer her gift. I now invite the Honorable Janet Austin, Lieutenant Governor of British Columbia, to offer her gift. I now invite the Honorable Antoinette Perry, Lieutenant Governor of Prince Edward Island, to offer her gift. I invite Ms. Heather Saloon, who will present a gift on behalf of the Honorable Thomas Malloy, Lieutenant Governor of Saskatchewan. I invite the Honorable Lois Mitchell, Lieutenant Governor of Alberta, to present her gift. I invite the Honorable Judy Foote, Lieutenant Governor of Newfoundland and Labrador, to offer her gift. I invite the Honorable Margaret Tom, Commissioner of the Northwest Territories, to offer her gift. I invite the Honorable Angelique Bernard, Commissioner of Yukon Territory, to present her gift. I invite the Honorable Nellie Kusakak, Commissioner of Nunavut, to present her gift. I would now like to invite the Vice-Regal family to join together with Chief Stacy Laforme and National Chief Perry Bellegarde for a circle dance around the sacred fire.
Anushka, save our earth. And it's not going to come from the men, it's going to come from the women, because the women will look more for their children and for the things that are going to take place. The men are their helpers and the ones that will bring the thing about that is really truly I see. These women dancing, leading this dance to save our mother. And they do this dance.
In recognition of the historic nature of such a meeting at the Chapel Royal, Massey College applied for and was awarded a commemorative plaque from the Ontario Heritage Trust to mark this occasion. Before the plaque is formally unveiled, we wanted to acknowledge that the date is recorded as June 11th, 2019. And due to some unforeseen circumstances and ensuring that all who were able to attend could be here, this event had to be rescheduled until today, a teaching that history unfolds in its own time. I would like to invite Beth Hanna, Chief Executive Officer of the Ontario Heritage Trust, to bring remarks.
It does indeed. Thank you, Nathan. Your Excellency, Your Honours, Commissioners, National Chief Bellegarde, Chief Laforme, Elder Sue, honoured guests. Bonjour, good morning. Ani Bosho, Tanse. Thank you. Thank you, Nathan, for inviting us to be part of this very special day. I'm privileged to bring greetings from my colleagues at the Ontario Heritage Trust to this historic gathering. The Trust acknowledges and respects that many Indigenous peoples and nations have walked on this land, have created homes, families, and indeed civilizations here for thousands of years. We imagine an Ontario where the places, the landscapes, the traditions and stories that embody our heritage and the heritage of the many peoples of this land are reflected, valued, and conserved for future, future generations. And so I'm grateful to gather with you this morning on lands that hold such meaning, such connection to the history of Indigenous people in what is now Ontario, and more recently to the history of the settler communities. The provincial plaque that will be unveiled momentarily reaches to the past, to the complex and sacred treaty relationships between the Crown and First Nations peoples. It speaks to the present and tells all who read of this historic gathering of these leaders and visionaries who gather. And it looks to the future with anticipation, a launching point of hope, of courage, and of reconciliation. I'm honored to present this commemorative plaque, which is provided in English, French, and Anishinaabe. And we're grateful to Tina Sue of the Mississauga of the Credit First Nation for the Ojibwe translation. The plaque reads, "A Council at the Chapel Royal, honoring the kinship kindled by the treaty relationships between First Peoples and the Crown, Indigenous leaders gathered here on June 11, 2019, with the Governor-General, Lieutenant Governors, and Territorial Commissioners of Canada to hear an address by the National Chief of the Assembly of First Nations. A sacred fire burned to mark this unprecedented council. Merci. Thank you. Miigwech. Kina Nats Gumitin. Thank you.
I would now like to invite Beth Hanna and Liz Smythe to unveil the plaque created by the Ontario Heritage Trust to mark this historic gathering. They will be joined by the Governor-General, National Chief, Chief Laforme, and that's everyone. And sorry, they will also be joined by Her Honor the Lieutenant Governor of Ontario. Thank you. This concludes our welcoming ceremony. The Viceregal family will now join the National Chief in the Chapel Royal for a private meeting. The media are invited to depart at this time. Thank you.
I know. Great job.